I'm a graduate of Hillsboro Aviation.
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 It's much more exciting than I ever thought it could be, and it was definitely worth everything I went through. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Helicopter flying is exciting. It's those moments of flying where you're one with your machine and you're in command of the system.
I get a lot of kicks just out of flying, out of taking off, out of landing in challenging areas with challenging wind conditions.
The most exciting part of being a helicopter pilot is actually picking the helicopter up from the ground and start hovering and then move it into forward flight and take off.
The real thrill is climbing in the cockpit and being able to go out and fly. And there's a freedom there that you can't get from anything else.
I've done external loads where I've set air conditioners on top of buildings. We've worked for the Forest Service, the BLM, and the OAS doing forest fire suppression, so we're dropping water.
I had logged, I fought fires in Northern California. I got sent up to Healy, Alaska for a power line construction job.
For me, it was a lifestyle that I kind of was craving. You're going out and you're doing something every day to maybe help someone else's life.
I think the feeling at the ramp, pretty soon all of the helicopters were spinning. That sound who makes you want to become a helicopter pilot.
I can get up every day and look forward to going to work. That's very, very important to me.
It's very different. It's not 9 to 5. We don't usually wear the white shirt and the tie. We're often in a flight suit out in the field with dirt on your boots.
There's nothing I've ever done in my life that provides me with the challenge and the rewards that being a helicopter pilot does.
You get to do things that I never thought I would be doing.
It was a very important decision in my life. It was the most rewarding decision I've ever made. I just love my job.
Over the last 30 years, the helicopter industry has changed dramatically. In the 70s, there was a large pool of Vietnam veterans that were coming out of the military and transitioning into the civilian helicopter world. Those Vietnam veterans today are now near retirement age.
As they retire, plus an increased demand for helicopter services, you're going to see more and more of a demand for new pilots to enter the ranks.
The next 5 to 10 years, the industry is going to lose maybe 25% of their pilots.
It's been described as an industry crisis due to this shortage.
As time goes on, there's far more helicopters being manufactured and put into service. And so eventually the supply of machines outstrip the supply of pilots. Hence the flight school and need for new pilots that are not military trained.
The EMS market is just booming right now. There's probably 2 or 3 new contracts starting a month across the country. And so you have to have 4 or 5 pilots to fill each one of those positions. There's just a great opportunity out there right now, and there's a need for good quality pilots.
This is the strongest job market that we've seen over the last 30 years.
It's a good time to become a helicopter pilot. The things we look for: skill, knowledge, and judgment.
They need to have good personality, good service skills, good people skills, as well as good pilot skills.
A good pilot is going to be someone who's dedicated to what they're doing, has a good head on their shoulders.
The thing that they need to look at most importantly is the quality of instruction they're going to get at any school that they go to, the type of equipment, the history of the school, the type of maintenance that the school provides.
It's just so important to have good quality training. You need to learn right the first time because you'll use that through your whole career.
All of our students come to us with a simple dream, the dream to fly helicopters. We've been helping people fulfill their dreams since 1980 by providing a professional pilot training program that jumpstarts our graduates into an exciting career as a commercial helicopter pilot.
Hillsboro Aviation started in 1980 with a single Robinson helicopter and grew today to approximately 70 aircraft, including 12 turbine helicopters, with around 55,000 flight hours per year. For firefighting, oil exploration, sightseeing, executive charter, and a number of other types of operations with turbine helicopters. My vision for the helicopter school is to provide the safest, highest quality training in the world.
Hillsboro Aviation is located in the high-tech community of Hillsboro, Oregon, about 15 miles west of Portland, Oregon. This prime Pacific Northwest location provides nearly every kind of climate, terrain, and flying condition that a pilot is likely to encounter. These realistic conditions mean real experience, experience that you will rely on throughout your career.
Within 10 miles of the airport, we have the coastal range. 20 miles the other direction, we have the Cascades, up to 14,000 feet. You get over the Cascades and we have deserts, plateaus, canyons, river valleys.
There's not very many schools that have all that different kind of flying in one concentrated small area. So that's definitely an advantage of coming here.
The thing for me that's been a great asset was that the training in this environment in the Northwest, because we have such a drastic four-season change here. We have the coast range, we have the valleys, we have the mountains, and then we have the desert. You can't get that kind of experience flying in Florida or California or some of the more sunnier states. I think it makes a more rounded pilot. Anybody that can fly in the Northwest can fly anywhere in the world.
It was good to be able to get that kind of weather diversity, which is something that other schools do not have. Like if you go to a school in Florida, you're not going to have the weather that we have here.
If you know how to fly through and around weather, you have better decision-making skills. If you've only flown in sunny skies with calm winds, it's not going to cut it.
The Hillsboro Airport is a helicopter-friendly airport with multiple patterns, instrument approaches, and numerous nearby training areas. The airport has an FAA air traffic control tower and Class Delta airspace, providing our students the opportunity to gain valuable radio communication skills.
Hillsboro is a helicopter-friendly airport, one of the largest in the country actually for the amount of general aviation traffic that comes in and out.
The is a controlled airport, so you have that interaction with the tower. It's not so busy that you have trouble getting in or out, or it's so restrictive. That was another part of my decision making for coming here, is that it was the right size of airspace. Busy enough, but not too busy.
Hillsboro Aviation has 180 employees and operates out of a large, modern facility that includes student training areas, pilot supply store, flight simulators, and maintenance and avionics hangars. Operating alongside our flight school is Hillsboro Aviation's helicopter contract and charter department. With a large fleet of turbine-powered Bell helicopters, we perform a variety of commercial services. Many of the pilots flying these operations are graduates of our helicopter school. In addition to providing flight training and charter services, Hillsboro Aviation has a strong relationship with Bell Helicopter, as we are Bell's only independent representative for the sale of new Bell helicopters in the western United States. As the largest combined helicopter and airplane flight school in the northwestern United States, Hillsboro Aviation operates a fleet of 70 aircraft. These aircraft are maintained in our FAA-licensed repair station by our factory-trained mechanics. Our helicopter fleet consists of Robinson, Schweitzer, and turbine-powered Bell helicopters. From the Robinson R-22 to the famous Bell 205, Hillsboro Aviation operates the most popular models of helicopters in use around the world today. For your greatest career opportunities, we highly recommend that you do the majority of your flight training in the Robinson R-22.
There are more Robinsons out there than probably any other helicopters. We say if you can fly this, you can fly anything.
It's the safest, most fun helicopter in the world. I think it's the best training helicopter there is. I've heard many people say if you can fly a Robbie, you can fly anything.
If anyone should know this, it's Billy Cook. He flies one of the largest helicopters in the world, the tandem rotor Boeing Vertol 107.
It's a tandem rotor helicopter, a little bit different than what you're going to fly at Hillsboro. It's amazing coming from a Robinson to something that big, and it's really not that hard of a transition.
Hillsboro Aviation operates a Frasca helicopter flight simulator that provides realistic training for both instrument and visual helicopter operations. For students seeking specialized training, we have multiple Bell helicopters equipped with the latest in glass cockpit and synthetic vision technology from Chelton Flight Systems.
We were the first company in the world to install the forward-looking EFA system or glass cockpit, and one of those helicopters is available for flight training for our students as well.
Hillsboro Aviation has comfortable and fully furnished student apartments available within a short walking distance of the campus. With a modern public transportation system, large shopping areas, and an abundance of outdoor activities, our students are able to enjoy the best of what living in Oregon has to offer. With a friendly staff and activities like monthly barbecues and events like the annual Oregon Air Show, Hillsboro Aviation students experience a warm and inviting atmosphere.
You go to a big school, you're going to get lost, you're just another student there. But when I showed up here, compared to some of the other schools I went to, I actually got more attention. And so I was really impressed by that.
It was a very easy choice for me to actually come here because it was the people. Still professional, but a laid-back atmosphere. I really enjoyed it.
One of the things I really enjoyed about Hillsboro was the camaraderie of students that were going through the program with me. You end up becoming friends, you end up staying in touch. I stay in touch with several graduates right now, some guys that are flying tours in Vegas, some in the Canyon, a couple others that are down here flying offshore with me.
As well as drawing students from all across the United States, Hillsboro Aviation's training program has attracted students from over 75 countries around the world. Because we are one of only 3 helicopter schools approved to offer the F1 visa, our graduates can legally work as commercial pilots in the United States upon completion of their training. We are experts on the M1 and F1 visas, and we will assist international students through their visa application process.
We have students from a lot of different countries, and they bring a lot of different experiences, just ways of thinking, ways of approaching things. So it's good to learn from each other. A lot of interaction with different cultures.
It's a lot of European students here. So, for example, I had students from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Norway, Great Britain. So that's what I really like, to meet different cultures.
Every year, our school sees an increase in the enrollment of women in the helicopter training program. While the ranks of women helicopter pilots are still small compared to the number of men, the opportunities remain the same for both men and women.
It's qualification and experience is what counts in this business, and not gender.
I think it's a great career for women. I think women make great pilots. I think more and more women will be getting involved in aviation, and I hope that they see that it's something that's a great career.
Tourists in the Grand Canyon are often surprised that women is actually the pilot. As soon as they sit in the helicopter and we really take off and they see, oh, the women actually flies as well as a man.
Our school is Part 141 certified by the Federal Aviation Administration, VA approved, and accredited by the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. For those students interested in obtaining a college degree in aviation, Hillsboro Aviation has a relationship with Portland Community College and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University's Portland Center.
I also went through a program at Portland Community College. It's an aviation science program where we got to go even more in depth on a lot of the subjects that you need to become an expert on to be a helicopter pilot.
I think it's important to have a degree just to show that you have certain education.
The first job for almost all of our graduates will be as a certified flight instructor, or CFI. For many of our graduates, that first job will be right here at Hillsboro Aviation, working on our staff as one of our flight instructors. Job placement assistance is available to all graduates. This includes career advising, practice interviews, resume writing, and job search assistance. Hillsboro Aviation's program has been developed using our vast experience training commercial helicopter pilots. Our program is designed to prepare each of our graduates for employment in the helicopter industry.
The education at Hillsboro Aviation prepared me for my career, that it gave me all the tools I need actually to fly this machine.
The first step in your training program is obtaining your private pilot certificate. The techniques and skills we teach you during your private training will stay with you for the rest of your career. We'll start out with the basics and build from there.
It's a mixture between exciting and overwhelming at the same time. So it's because it's a lot of new impressions which happens there. And when you first time get on the controls and the helicopter is not really doing what you want, you realize, okay, it might be a little bit harder than I thought. Step by step you learn how to do it. So that's pretty exciting.
The first thing you learn how to do in a helicopter is hover, and that's also one of the hardest things you learn how to do. It's like trying to balance on a beach ball that's been coated in motor oil. It just seems almost impossible at first, but all of a sudden you'll get it and you're able to hover.
Once you have a solid foundation, we move on to the most important emergency procedure for a helicopter pilot to perform, an auto-rotation. An auto-rotation allows a pilot to land a helicopter safely without engine power and is one of the most exciting maneuvers a helicopter pilot will learn. Ground instruction is an essential part of our training program. Private pilot ground training covers many subjects including aerodynamics, weather, and cross-country flight planning. Our private pilot training uses a one-on-one environment. This means each student will work directly with their flight instructor for personalized and individualized scheduled lessons.
If a student learns at a faster pace compared to another student, your instructor will tailor that training to you.
Soon the time comes when a student puts all their training into practice and makes their first solo flight. For many pilots, this is the most memorable day of their training, the day they take a helicopter into the air by themselves for the first time. At the end of your private pilot training, you will complete 2 examinations with the FAA. The first exam is a knowledge test, which will be done in Hillsboro Aviation's FAA Computerized Testing Center. The second exam will be the practical test or check ride with an FAA examiner in the helicopter. At the completion of your practical test, you will be certified as an FAA private helicopter pilot.
They're looking for a student to be able to handle the airspace that we fly in, let alone other airspaces. They're looking for them to fly safely all the maneuvers that are required. We have a high success rate for the students because what we do is we have internal stage checks throughout your training.
We don't send them into a check ride until we know that they're going to pass.
After obtaining your private pilot certificate, you will begin the commercial training portion of our program. In your commercial training, you will build upon the skills learned during your private training, focusing on off-airport landings, extended cross countries, instrument flying, and additional nighttime operations. One of the things that makes a helicopter special is its ability to take off and land almost anywhere. The varied terrain we have here in the Pacific Northwest provides the perfect training grounds for developing the off-airport landing skills which are essential for every helicopter pilot. Our students will also experience the challenge and exhilaration of landing on Portland's downtown heliport. The commercial training is also a time for you to improve on the cross-country skills you learned during your private pilot training. As a commercial student, you will fly your helicopter to various airports throughout the Pacific Northwest. Some students may choose to go on extended cross countries with their instructor to areas throughout the western United States.
A lot of the students, they will go with their instructor as far away as San Francisco, maybe up to Canada. They learn how to make those long-distance flight plans. They encounter a lot of different weather phenomena on a long trip like that.
I'm a firm believer in making our students in the commercial training fly longer cross countries to get the used to flying into different airspaces.
All students receive instrument training during the commercial program. This is done in our flight simulator and instrument-equipped helicopters.
I think helicopters will be used more and more in instrument conditions, and I think that it'll be something that will be more and more valuable.
While most helicopter flying is done during the day, professional pilots must also be trained to fly at night. The commercial program will provide you with additional night training, including a number of hours of night solo flights.
The first night flight, that was not what I expected it to be. You've been over the same terrain, but guess what? There's black holes in certain places and there's lights in other places where you didn't expect it. It's a completely different flying environment.
After you have earned your commercial pilot certificate, you will move on to the last phase of your professional pilot training. It's time to become a certified flight instructor, or CFI.
Probably your first job in aviation is going to be a CFI. So we kind of take that as our target to train people to be quality CFIs. The CFI is important because it allows you the time to really cement what you learned before. It really starts to come together. You're still feeling and experiencing what's going on in the cockpit, and if you can teach something, then you know it that much better.
The CFI flight training will take your skill level above and beyond what you have learned so far in your program. You will be trained in the fundamentals of instruction and learn what it takes to train a helicopter pilot. Your instructor will also expose you to a variety of typical mistakes student pilots make, and you will learn to safely deal with these challenges. The culmination of your comprehensive CFI training comes when you learn to do full touchdown auto rotations.
A full-on auto rotation is when you basically simulate an engine failure and you make an auto rotation glide all the way down to about 50 feet off the ground, where you start a flare to slow your descent, and when you're just about 10 feet off the ground, you level the helicopter and gently bring it down to the ground. And you'll experience that in the CFI portion of the training here. In order to pass the FAA exam for CFI, you have to be able to do that full down auto rotation.
Once you have your CFI rating and at least 200 hours in your logbook, you're ready to start your pilot career. While many of our graduates experience the opportunity to work at Hillsboro Aviation, others, with our assistance, will seek employment with helicopter companies throughout the United States. Either way, our graduates will continue our long and proud history of supplying professional pilots to the helicopter industry.
The reputation of the flight school and the type of pilots they put out is very important. And potential employers are generally fully aware of the type of pilot flight schools put out.
Today we have pilots flying for pretty much all the major helicopter companies worldwide. Petroleum Helicopters, Columbia Helicopters, Erickson Air Crane, Papillon Helicopters, the world's largest sightseeing helicopter company. Those are all destinations for our experienced CFIs.
I think it's a very good reputation. I think they're well known in the industry, and I think they're well known for producing high quality pilots.
Hillsboro has an excellent reputation. We're looked very favorably upon by the U.S. government for a lot of the work that we do. So they're happy with our pilots and they're happy with our aircraft.
Hillsboro Aviation really has a great reputation. This is not only here in the United States. I think also a lot of people in Europe know about Hillsboro Aviation.
Hillsboro has as good a reputation as any school, if not better than any school. With the training you get at Hillsboro, you can step right in and contribute right away. Once you graduate from the program, it's not like they shove you out the door and say see you later. They actually take an interest of what direction you want to go, and they'll help you as much as they can.
It was above and beyond my expectation. I felt very well-rounded, a very well-completed pilot at the end of the training.
We feel very proud of our graduates. We're very honored that we've had such an impact on the helicopter industry worldwide.